home of fun theater classes for kids ages 6 through 18, where students can build their skills in acting, dancing, musical theater, and improv, brings you Journey Around Town.
Journey Theater is a non-profit theater program dedicated to helping kids and families grow in character and purpose. So would you please consider donating to help make that happen? Check out our website at www.journeytheater.org. Here's our host, Bella Rodriguez.
Hello again, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Journey Theater's presentation of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz from the book by L. Frank Baum. We knew you couldn't stay away. We're so glad to have you with us as we continue to innovate and keep students like me performing and collaborating together with our first audio play. This audio production of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz is sponsored by Kingsway Christian Schools.
Kingsway Christian Schools serve students from 12 months to 12th grade. Their academic rigor, biblical integration, real-world skills, and Christian values are evident throughout their community, both in person and through the online academy. Kingsway welcomes new and transfer students, homeschoolers, distant learners, and needed changers. Plan to tour the campus and see why they are celebrating 50 years of academic excellence. Discover, discern, dream, and do God's will for your child's life at Kingsway Christian Schools at www.kwcs.org.
When we last left our heroine, the great and powerful Wizard of Oz had demanded that she kill the Wicked Witch of the West before he would grant her wish to return home to Kansas. How could she defeat such a powerful witch? Stay tuned for our newest episode, The Great Humbug. As always, get comfortable, perk up your ears, and enjoy episode 3 of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Bring me proof that the witch is dead, and that moment I will give you each all you wish. But as long as the witch lives, you will never return to Kansas.
What should we do now? There's only one thing we can do, and that is to go to the land of the Winkies, seek out the Wicked Witch, and destroy her.
But suppose we cannot?
Then I shall never have courage.
And I shall never have brains.
And I shall never have a heart.
And I shall never see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. But I suppose we must try it, but I'm not sure I want to kill anybody, even to see Aunt Em again.
I will go with you, but I'm too much of a coward to kill the witch.
I will go too, but I shall not be of much help to you. I am such a fool.
I haven't the heart to harm even a witch, but if you go, I certainly shall go with you.
They left immediately to search for the Wicked Witch. As they left the City of Emeralds, the guard unlocked their spectacles to put them back in his great box. And then he politely opened the gate for our friends.
Mr. Guard, which road leads to the Wicked Witch of the West?
There is no road. No one ever wishes to go that way.
How then are we to find her?
That'll be easy. For when she knows you are in the country of the Winkies, she will find you and make you all her slaves.
Perhaps not, for we mean to destroy her.
Oh, that is different. No one has ever destroyed her before, so I naturally thought that she would make slaves of you, as she has of the rest. But take care, for she is wicked and fierce, and may not allow you to destroy her. Keep to the west where the sun sets, and you cannot fail to find her.
Thank you ever so much. Goodbye.
The Emerald City was soon left far behind. As they advanced, the ground became rougher and hillier, for there were no farms nor houses in this country of the West. In the afternoon, the sun shone hot in their faces, for there were no trees to offer them shade.
It is so hot. Can we stop and rest for a spell?
Oh, yes, please. I'm so tired. Toto, too.
Scarecrow and I will keep watch while you sleep.
Now, the Wicked Witch of the West had but one eye, yet that was as powerful as a telescope, and she could see everywhere. So, as she sat in the door of her castle, she happened to look around and saw Dorothy lying asleep with her friends all about her.
What is this?
When the witch blew on her silver whistle, at once there came running to her from all directions a pack of great wolves. They had long legs and fierce eyes and sharp teeth.
Go to those trespassers and tear them to pieces.
Are you not going to make them your slaves?
No. One is of tin and one of straw. One is a girl and another a lion. None of them is fit to work, so you may tear them into small pieces.
Very well.
It was lucky that the Scarecrow and the Woodman were wide awake and heard the wolves coming.
This is my fight, so get behind me and I will meet them as they come.
He seized his axe, which he made very sharp, and as the leader of the wolves came on the Tin Woodman, he swung his arm and chopped the wolf's head from its body so that it immediately died. As soon as he could raise his axe, another wolf came up, and he also fell under the sharp edge of the Tin Woodman's weapon. There were 40 wolves, and 40 times the wolf was killed, so that at last they all lay dead in a heap before the woodman.
It was a good fight, friend.
When Dorothy woke up the next morning, she was shocked to find the dead wolves.
Thank you for saving us, Mr. Woodman.
Now, this same morning, the Wicked Witch came to the door of her castle and looked out with her one eye that could see far off. She saw all her wolves lying dead, and the strangers still traveling through her country.
What is this?
Straightway, a great flock of wild crows came flying toward her, enough to darken the sky.
King Crow, fly at once to the strangers, pick out their eyes, and tear them to pieces.
Oh no, look! What is it?
This is my battle, so lie down beside me and you will not be harmed.
So they all lay upon the ground except the Scarecrow, and he stood up and stretched out his arms. And when the crows saw him, they were frightened, as these birds always are by scarecrows, and did not dare come any nearer. But the King Crow said,
It is only a stuffed man. I'll peck his eyes out.
The King Crow flew at the Scarecrow, who caught it by the head and twisted its neck until it died. And then another crow flew at him, and the Scarecrow twisted its neck also. There were 40 crows, and 40 times the Scarecrow twisted a neck, until at last all were lying dead beside him. When the Wicked Witch looked out again and saw all her crows lying in a heap, she got into a terrible rage.
Ah, this is impossible! Go, my black bees, go to the strangers and sting them to death.
And the bees turned and flew rapidly until they came to where Dorothy and her friends were walking. But the woodman had seen them coming, and the Scarecrow had decided what to do.
Take out my straw and scatter it over the little girl and the dog and the lion so the bees cannot sting them.
So Dorothy lay close beside the lion and held Toto in her arms, and the straw covered them entirely. The bees came and found no one but the woodman to sting. So they flew at him and broke off all their stings against the tin, without hurting the woodman at all. And as bees cannot live when their stings are broken, that was the end of the black bees. And they lay scattered thick about the woodman, like little heaps of fine coal.
Quickly, we must put the Scarecrow back together again.
Yep, yeah, we're all there. Yep. Oh, there we go. Yep, some there. Okay, good.
What? Winkies!
Yes, mistress?
Here, take these spears and go to the strangers and destroy them.
Now, the Winkies were not a brave people, but they had to do as they were told. So they marched away until they came near to Dorothy.
This is my fight! Roar!
When the lion gave his great roar and sprang toward them, the poor Winkies were so frightened that they ran back as fast as they could.
First my wolves, then my crows and bees, and now my Winkies? How dare they march against me? Well, I am a powerful witch and know how to act.
There was, in her cupboard, a golden cap, with a circle of diamonds and rubies running around it. This golden cap had a charm. Whoever owned it could call 3 times upon the winged monkeys, who would obey any order they were given, but no person could command these strange creatures more than 3 times. Twice already, the witch had used the charm of the cap. Once was when she had made the Winkies her slaves and set herself to rule over their country. The winged monkeys had helped her do this. The second time was when she had fought against the Great Oz himself and driven him out of the land of the West. The winged monkeys had helped her also in doing this.
I can only use the magic cap once more to call the winged monkeys, but I have no choice. The strangers have defeated my other slaves. There's only one way left to destroy this girl and her friends.
So the Wicked Witch took the golden cap from her cupboard and placed it upon her head. Then she stood upon her left foot and said slowly,
Eep, beep, 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 kake.
She stood upon her right foot and said,
Hilo, holo, hello.
After this, she stood on both feet and cried in a loud voice,
Zizzy, zoozy, zick.
Now, the the charm began to work. The sky was darkened and a low rumbling sound was heard in the air. There was a rushing of many wings, and the sun came out of the dark sky to show the wicked witch surrounded by a crowd of monkeys, each with a pair of immense and powerful wings on its shoulders.
You have called us for the third and last time. What do you command?
Go to the strangers who are within my land and destroy them. All except the lion. Bring that beast to me, for I have a mind to harness him like a horse and make him work.
Your commands shall be obeyed. You there! Seize that Tin Woodman and drop him on the sharp rocks. Whoa! Ah! You there! Pull all the straw out of the scarecrow. Now you, take a piece of rope and tie up the lion.
And the lion was wound with many coils about his body and head and legs until he was unable to bite or scratch or struggle in any way. Then they lifted him up and flew away with him to the witch's castle, where he was placed in a small yard with a high iron fence around it so that he could not escape. But when the leader of the winged monkeys flew up to Dorothy, he saw the mark of the good witch's kiss upon her forehead and stopped short, motioning for the others not to touch her.
We dare not harm this little girl, for she is protected by the power of good, and that is greater than the power of evil. All we can do is carry her to the castle of the Wicked Witch and leave her there.
Oh!
We have obeyed you as far as we are able. The Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow are destroyed, and the lion is tied up in your yard. The little girl we dare not harm, nor the dog she carries in her arms. Your power over our band is now ended, and you will never see us again.
Said the witch. She was both surprised and worried when she saw the mark on Dorothy's forehead, for she knew well that neither the winged monkeys nor she herself dare hurt the girl in any way. She looked down at Dorothy's feet.
Those shoes! You must be very powerful to defeat the Witch of the East.
But I'm not powerful at all.
As the witch looked into the child's eyes, she saw how simple the soul behind them was, and that the little girl did not know of the wonderful power the silver shoes gave her.
I can still make her my slave, for she does not know how to use her power. Come with me and see that you mind everything I tell you, for if you do not, I will make an end of you as I did of the Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow. You will stay here in this kitchen and clean the pots and kettles and sweep the floor and tend the fire.
Oh, Toto, what has happened to our friends? Will we never get back to Kansas now?
Well, Lion. I will make a harness so that I may ride you like a horse, or have you draw my great chariot wherever I wish to go. Well, if I cannot harness you, I can starve you. You shall have nothing to eat until you do as I wish.
Every day, the witch came to the gate at noon and asked,
Are you ready to be harnessed like a horse?
No, if you come into this yard, I will bite you.
Now, the reason the lion did not have to do as the witch wished was that every night, while the woman was asleep, Dorothy carried him food from the cupboard. After he had eaten, he would lie down on his bed of straw, and Dorothy would lie beside him and put her head on his soft, shaggy mane.
Oh, Lion, how sad it is. I can see no way to escape the castle because the Winkies keep us both under such guard. They do not like the Wicked Witch, but are too afraid of her not to do as she told them.
And I miss our friends, the Scarecrow and the Woodman. I am not brave enough to escape.
And every day she threatens me. Today she even hit Toto. He bit her back and I was very glad. I will never get back to Aunt Em now.
Oh, how I wish I had those silver shoes. My bees and crows and wolves are lying in heaps and drying up, and I've used up all the power of the golden cap. But if I could only get hold of those silver shoes, they would give me more power than all the things I have lost. I will watch the girl, and when she takes off her shoes, I will take them. Gah! She only takes them off at night or to take a bath.
The witch was too much afraid of the dark to dare go into Dorothy's room at night and take the shoes, and her dread of water was greater than her fear of the dark, so she never came near Dorothy when she was bathing. Indeed, the old witch never touched water, nor let water touch her in any way.
I have a trick that will work. I will place a bar of iron in the middle of the kitchen floor, and by my magic make it invisible.
So that when Dorothy walked across the floor, she stumbled over the bar not being able to see it, and fell at full length. She was not much hurt, but in her fall, one of her silver shoes came off.
Aha! I have it! Now that I have one of the shoes, I own half the power of their charm, and the girl cannot use it against me, nor even knows how to do so.
Give me back my shoe!
I will not, for it is now my shoe and not yours.
You are a wicked creature. You have no right to take my shoe from me.
I shall keep it just the same. And someday, I shall get the other one from you too.
Ugh!
This made Dorothy so very angry that she picked up the bucket of water that stood near and dashed it over the witch, wetting her from head to foot.
Ah, no!
You're shrinking!
See what you have done? In a minute, I shall melt away.
I am very sorry indeed.
Oh, I have been wicked in my day, but I never thought a little girl like you would be able to melt me and end my wicked deeds. Look out. Here I go.
What is it, Toto? Why, it's my silver shoes. I will put them on quickly, and then we must find Lion and tell him that the wicked witch is dead.
That was bravely done, Dorothy.
Let's find the Winkies to tell them they're free.
Thank you, Dorothy. We have been made to work hard during many years for the Wicked Witch, who always treated us with great cruelty. We will keep this day as a holiday, now and forever. Let there be feasting and dancing. To Dorothy!
To Dorothy!
If only our friends, the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, were only with us, I should be quite happy.
Don't you suppose we could rescue them?
We can try. The Winkies may help us since you freed them from the witch.
Oh, yes. Excuse me, ma'am, do you think you can help us find our friends?
We would be delighted to do all in our power for Dorothy, who has set us free from bondage.
So Dorothy chose a number of the Winkies, who looked as if they knew the most, and they all started away. They traveled until they came upon the rocky plain where the Tin Woodman lay all battered and bent.
Oh, there he is.
A little further on, they came to the tall tree, and in the branches of which the winged monkeys had tossed the Scarecrow's clothes.
We need to get them back to the castle right away. Dear Winkies, are any of your people tinsmiths?
Oh yes, some of us are very good tinsmiths. We can mend the woodsman so he will be as good as ever.
To be sure, there are several patches on me, but the tinsmiths did a good job, and I do not mind the patches at all.
All the Scarecrow needs is some nice clean straw and he'll be good as new.
Oh, thank you for rescuing me.
Now we can go back to Oz and claim his promise.
Yes! At last I shall get my heart!
And I shall get my brains.
And I shall get
back to Kansas. Oh, let us start for the Emerald City tomorrow.
This they decided to do. The next day, they called the Winkies together and bade them goodbye. The Winkies were sorry to have them go, and they had grown so fond of the Tin Woodman that they begged him to stay and rule over him in the land of the West.
But I'm determined to go with my friends.
As they said goodbye to the Winkies, Dorothy gathered up her things and found the witch's golden cap. She tried it on her own head and found
it fits me exactly.
She did not know anything about the charm of the golden cap, but
it's so pretty. I will wear it.
And they started on their journey back to the Emerald City. You will remember there was no road, not even a pathway between the castle of the Wicked Witch and the Emerald City, and soon they were hopelessly lost.
If we walk far enough, I'm sure we shall sometime come to some place.
We have surely lost our way. Unless we find it again in time to reach the Emerald City, I shall never get my brains.
Nor I my heart. It seems to me I can scarcely wait till I get to Oz, and you must admit this is a very long journey.
You see, I haven't the courage to keep tramping forever without going anywhere at all.
You're right, Toto. Suppose we call the field mice. They could probably tell us the way to the Emerald City.
To be sure they could. Why didn't we think of that before?
So Dorothy blew the little whistle she had always carried about her neck since the Queen of Mice had given it to her. In a few minutes, they heard the pattering of tiny feet, and many of the small gray mice came running up to her. Among them was the Queen herself, who asked her in her squeaky little voice,
What can I do for my friends?
We have lost our way. Can you tell us where the Emerald City is?
Certainly, but it is a great way off, for you've had it at your backs all this time. Why don't you use the charm of the cap and call the winged monkeys to you? They will carry you to the city of Oz in less than an hour.
I didn't know there was a charm. What is it?
It is written inside the golden cap, but if you're going to call the winged monkeys, we must run away because they're full of mischief and think it's great fun to plague us.
Won't they hurt me?
Oh no, they must obey the wearer of the cap. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Look, there are words written on the inside of the cap.
What do they say to do?
Stand on your left foot and say, Epe pepe kake.
What did you say?
Stand on your right foot and say, Hilo holo hello.
Hello.
Zizzy zuzzy zick.
Did it work?
Look, here they come.
What is your command?
We wish to go to the Emerald City and we have lost our way.
We will carry you.
Yeah!
Yes! No sooner had he spoken than two of the monkeys caught Dorothy in their arms and flew away with her. Others took the Scarecrow and the Woodman and the Lion, and one little monkey seized Toto and flew after them, although the dog tried hard to bite him. The monkeys set the travelers down carefully before the gates of the city. The king bowed low to Dorothy and then flew swiftly away, followed by all his band.
That was a good ride.
Yes, and a quick way out of our troubles. How lucky it was that you brought away that wonderful cap.
Mr. Woodman, could you please ring the bell?
Happily, Mr. Scarecrow.
What? Are you back again? But I thought you had gone to visit the Wicked Witch of the West.
We did visit her.
And she let you go again?
She could not help it, for she is melted.
Melted? Well, that is good news indeed. Who melted her?
It was Dorothy.
Good gracious.
And he bowed very low indeed before Dorothy.
Come with me.
Then he led them into his little room and locked the spectacles from the great box on all their eyes, just as he had done before. Afterward, they passed on through the gate into the Emerald City, into the Palace of Oz. They thought the Great Wizard would send for them at once, but he did not. The waiting was tiresome and wearing, and at last they grew vexed that Oz should treat them in so poor a fashion, after sending them to undergo hardships and slavery.
I'm tired of waiting. Take a message to Oz. If he does not let us in to see him at once, we will call the winged monkeys to help us, to find out whether he keeps his promises or not.
When the wizard was given this message, he was so frightened that he sent word for them to come into the throne room at once. Of course, each one of them expected to see the wizard in the shape he had taken before, and all were greatly surprised when they looked about and saw no one at all in the room. Presently, they heard a solemn voice that seemed to come from somewhere near the top of the great dome, and it said,
I am Oz, the Great and the Terrible. Why do you seek me?
Where are you?
I am everywhere, but to the eyes of common mortals, I am invisible. I will now seat myself upon my throne, that you may converse with me.
Indeed, the voice seemed just then to come straight from the throne itself.
We have come to claim our promise, O Oz.
What promise?
You promised to send me back to Kansas when the Wicked Witch was destroyed.
And you promised to give me brains.
And you promised to give me a heart.
And you promised to give me courage.
Is the Wicked Witch really destroyed?
Yes, I melted her with a bucket of water.
Dear me, how sudden. Well, come to me tomorrow, for I must have time to think it over.
You've had plenty of time already.
We shan't wait a day longer.
You must keep your promises to us.
The lion's roar was so fierce and dreadful that Toto jumped away from him in alarm and tipped over the screen that stood in a corner.
Who are you?
What? After all they endured and suffered to defeat the Wicked Witch? Who exactly does this great Wizard of Oz think he is? And how exactly do flying monkeys fly? No, I mean really. You'll learn all this and more in our final episode, There's No Place Like Home. And now a word from our sponsor.
Does your child have a turn for the melodramatic?
Toothpaste, toothpaste, wherefore art thou, toothpaste?
Do they spontaneously burst into song?
Time for dinner.
Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test.
Are your floors worn thin from the constant tapping? Pliing? 4 jazz squares?
And 5, 6, 7, 8. If so, your child may have the theater bug. But don't worry, there is a cure. Theater classes with Journey Theater will help develop their skills and provide an outlet for that creative energy. At Journey, it is perfectly normal to be singing, dancing, and acting through life. In fact, we encourage it.
A new session of classes begin in January, so visit www.journeytheater.org to register and put your child on the road to theatrical recovery. Check with your director for more information. Side effects of Journey classes can include lifelong friends, increased confidence, and a career in public speaking. Journey cannot guarantee your child will no longer burst into song.
You have been listening to episode 3 of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, performed by Journey Theater. This episode was performed by
Izzy Hill as the storyteller.
Sadie Gilliam as Dorothy.
Mason Van Cleve as the Scarecrow.
Molly Waller as the Tin Woodsman.
Grace Farrell as the Cowardly Lion.
Parker Wasnick as the Wizard of Oz.
Kaylee Gibbs as the Wicked Witch of the West.
Zoe Arpin as Toto and the Winky Captain.
Peyton Schoonover as the Monkey King.
Alexis Ramirez as the Queen of Mice.
Lily Grimm as the Emerald City Guard.
Abilene Trevino
Keziah Perezzo
as the Mice.
with special appearances and sound effects by
Isabella Stiller,
Bella Rodriguez,
Hannah McDaniel,
Peyton Schoonover,
Kaylee Gibbs,
Lily Grimm,
Zoe Arpin, Abilene Trevino,
Emily Thigert,
Alexis Ramirez,
Keziah Perezzo.
Our stage manager is
Annalie Ahola.
This episode was directed by Melissa Bareford. Sound engineers are Nick Faust, Jen Gilliam, and Michael Arpin. I'm your host, Bella Rodriguez. Don't forget to tune in for our final episode, There's No Place Like Home, premiering on December 4th right here on the Journey YouTube channel.
This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience. No dogs, mice, wolves, monkeys, crows, or wildcats were harmed during recording. Journey Theater, live theater changing lives.